Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Nonstop Talking with your girl here, Vivian Liu. Besides reading, actually more than reading, I love watching TV. So today I am going to be talking about the best things that I watched in 2019. Please be aware of the fact that I have very basic and lame taste. I acknowledge that, but don't come at me because I know what I find entertaining. Real talk, I was actually unemployed for a bit and worked part-time for a while, so this year I had more free time to watch a lot of things, and thus it was really hard to narrow this list down with such a large selection. In addition, I wanted to do this countdown style, but that was also really hard comparing like TV shows, movies, cartoons, and anime because they're all very different mediums. So I did my best, just like at the end of the year, which ones I still remember, which ones I still find the most entertaining. With that being said, I ended up with 18 titles, so let's get started. At number 18 is Rick and Morty seasons 1 and 2. I rewatched both of them this year. Season 1 came out in 2013, season 2 came out in 2015. It's about a crazy man, Rick Sanchez, who takes his grandson Morty along for adventures across the universe after reuniting with his estranged daughter. I originally didn't think much of this show because I wasn't a fan of the art, and then it blew up, so I gave it a second chance, and I'm so lucky that I did because I ended up just loving it. I watched the first 2 seasons and then I rewatched the first 2 seasons in preparation for the season 3, and now with season 4 I'm rewatching them again. From my first watch, I gave both seasons 1 and season 2 a 5 out of 5, and I think that rating still stands to this day. This show is smart, deep, creative, and obviously super rewatchable. I highly recommend. If you were like me and you got stuck at like the art style, push through because the story will just blow you away. At number 17 is The Great British Bake Off season 10. This came out this year in 2019. I love this baking competition so much. It's just very chill and relaxing and friendly. I got into it a few years back, and it's just something that I look forward to every year, and I watch each episode as it comes out. I'm such an avid fan now, and I'm just ready for the next season. At number 16 is The Naked Director, which came out in 2019. It's a Japanese miniseries on Netflix, and it's set in the 1980s where this Japanese salesman who goes by the name Toru Muranishi, he kind of revolutionizes the Japanese adult industry. Originally, I gave this a 3.9 out of 5, but as I think back more on it and as I discuss it more with my friends as they slowly watch it, I realize how much I'm looking forward to season 2, and I feel like a lot of people haven't watched this and they should really give it a chance if you can tolerate the rated X material. I actually have a show thoughts for this miniseries, so I'm just gonna keep this short. At number 15 is One Day at a Time. This was, I believe, inspired by Norman Lear's show of the same name. That one came out in 1975. So this show follows a Cuban American family with a tough but loving single mother, 2 young children with obviously growing pains, and then just a really fun grandmother. My friend Jackie actually introduced me to this show, and at first I didn't think much of it because of the fact that I'm not a big sitcom person, but literally after the first season I was totally sucked in. This show is deep, relatable, topical, and just overall very entertaining. Like, you have one episode making me laugh and then the next episode making me cry. It's emotional, and just it touches the child of immigrant parent heart in me. Plus it discusses a lot of important modern day issues, which I think they spotlight so well. And I highly recommend it. When I first started it, there were news that like Netflix canceled it, and I was just so upset. I was like, really? I get into you now and you're gonna tell me that it's canceled? But luckily, when I got around to finishing it, supposedly it got picked up by another network, and I'm very excited and very happy for it. Supposedly it got canceled because not a lot of people are watching it, so hopefully people will go out and give this show a chance, because it is really heartwarming, and at the basis is such a good family show. At number 14 is Mindhunter season 2, which also came out in 2019. So this is set in the 1970s when two FBI agents start interviewing serial killers to get into their minds to solve current cases. Initially, I wasn't sold on the first season. I thought it started off meh, and then it got okay. So I didn't know what to expect with season 2. And then season 2 just suckered me in. And now I'm a fan. I'm sold. I'm highly anticipating season 3. So I just want to thank my friends Ginny and my friend Daniel for pushing this show on me, even though like I felt very lukewarm about it, because now it's on this list. At number 13 is Daniel Sloss's Netflix special. So I first heard his name on Conan, and then I found out on Netflix that he had a 2-part Netflix special for Dark and Jigsaw. I watched them, loved them, rewatched them, bought tickets to his show while simultaneously prepping myself by watching more of his stuff on YouTube. And honestly, look at what you've done. I'm a huge fan now. Obviously, this has to be on the list. I just love his dark humor, and he was actually really amazing live, and like I said, huge fan. At number 12 is Outlander season 3, which came out in 2017. So this is about an English nurse from 1945 who gets mysteriously swept back in time to 1743 Scotland, and she gets involved in this complicated time traveling love triangle. Yeah, it gets pretty complicated. My opinion was that the first season was amazing, and then the second season wasn't as good. So I didn't know what to think going into season 3, but I saw that it was on Netflix. I gave it a try, and it actually blew me away. Honestly, what keeps this show together is just the chemistry between the two main characters. It's just sizzling and so entertaining to watch, and I think the plot this season with season 3 was just really solid, and the new characters, they were all fantastic additions to the show. I loved season 3, and now I'm just like, can Netflix get season 4 faster? At number 11 is Detective Pikachu, which came out in 2019. It's about a detective who mysteriously disappears. So then his son comes or goes to his city and tries to find him with the help of his father's partner, which is Detective Pikachu. And this Pikachu, or this Pokemon, is special because he can actually communicate with the son, Tim. What Detective Pikachu has taught me is that nostalgia will get you far, and if you are also ridiculously fun, then you will make it on my best list. It's just that simple. I watched this with a friend and my cousin, and the 3 of us walked out of theaters just super entertained, and we had a lot of fun watching it. Honestly, the Pokemon look really good, and the world, I mean, it made me wish it was real so that I can live there. Who would have guessed that Ryan Reynolds' brand of humor would work so well as Pikachu? Seriously, just pure surprise and joy. At number 10 is Avengers Endgame, which came out in 2019. I don't think this Marvel movie needs an introduction, and I know it's a little bit high on the list, but how many years in the making was this? It feels like an end to an era, and I watched Infinity War, or I rewatched Infinity War in preparation for this, and I love Infinity War, and I don't know if Endgame is actually as good as Infinity War, but Endgame made me laugh, hyped me up, squeezed a few tears from me, and I just feel like it was just such an adventure, and it tied everything from the beginning to now so well, and obviously it just has to get a shout out on this list. At number 9 is Doctor Who seasons 2 through 7, which came out during the time frame of 2006 through 2013. So if you don't know, it's about, I guess, an alien time lord who goes by the name Doctor and travels through time and space in his TARDIS with a human companion or human companions. This year, I literally inhaled seasons 2 through 7, which is absolutely nuts and just shows you how it got me hooked and I couldn't stop. My friend Pat has been recommending me to watch this show for years now, and so I decided to finally rewatch season 1 and then from there start season 2, and I don't know what happened this time around. Something clicked and it suckered me in, and I like literally blew past the show up to season 7. I love David Tennant. I love Matt Smith. They're great. This show is just spectacular. So much adventure, so much depth, and it gets so emotional, like so much love. At number 8 is White Christmas, which came out in 1954, making it the oldest on this list. It's about two singers who joined like a sister act duo to perform a Christmas show at this inn run by like an old army buddy general of theirs who is facing financial difficulties. Wow, I was really bad with the summary. Honestly, it's a lot better than what I like just described it to be. I decided to give this older Christmas movie a try because I love Christmas movies. This was conveniently on Netflix, and it's actually a lot of people's like top recommendations. So I was like, you know what, Vivian, you need to do this. So I did it, and I have no regrets except why haven't I seen this sooner? Firstly, I didn't realize that this was 2 hours and 20 minutes long, but it's 2 hours and 20 minutes of pure fun entertainment. I love this movie so freaking much. The singing, the choreography, the costumes, the story, like just everything was spectacular. Like I said, I love Christmas movies, but I wasn't expecting this to just blow me away so much so. And it's Christmas joy, and it's magnificent. At number 7 is Dragon Ball Super Broly, which came out in 2018, and I know you guys might think I'm crazy for putting a Dragon Ball movie so high on this list, but you don't understand. I randomly agreed to watch this with my friend Jackie, and I had no expectations whatsoever, and then I walk out of the theater and I was just freaking out. Like, this movie is a bomb, and it just caused my mind to like explode. It's so like, it's just pure entertainment. The fighting, the explosions of color, the nostalgia, everything just got me so pumped and excited. Like, I was just on the edge of my seat, like just jumping with joy while watching this film, and I wasn't expecting that. I was so surprised, but so just pleasantly shocked. And honestly, this is what movies should be. It should just be fun. I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5, and I think Jackie and I will forever share this experience of how pumped we were while watching this movie. At number 6 is The King's Avatar. The drama came out in 2019 and it's on Netflix. So it was based off a light novel which got turned into an anime, and now obviously there is a televised version of it. I saw Yang Yang's face show up on Netflix and I was like, I love Yang Yang, I'm watching this. I watched it and I thought it had all the makings of a good shonen anime, and if you like that, you'll like this. I highly recommend it, even though a lot of my friends have said that the anime is better. So I gave this a 4.8 out of 5, and I do have show thoughts for this. At number 5 is SpiderMan Into the SpiderVerse, which came out in 2018. It's about a Brooklyn teenager named Miles Morales who becomes Spider-Man and then discovers there are other Spider-Mans from other worlds, and they're all in his world and they need to get back to their world. This is one of the first things I watched in 2019, and I think being one of the first things and still holding such like a place in my heart obviously means that it deserves to be on this list and in a really high spot as well. I love Spider-Man movies and I love the diversity in this. It gets an A+, and the story was really solid and the soundtrack was great. Like, just everything was like, I loved it a lot. At number 4 is Joker. I don't want to go into too much detail about this movie, but pretty much it starts off at a low point and it just keeps going down and down and down, and you're just falling into this tunnel of despair. And I'm not saying like this movie is a fun movie, but what it did successfully was put me in an anxious and nervous state from the beginning to the end. And even after I left the theaters with my friend, I still like had just this feeling of hopelessness linger with me. And I think that's like, because of the emotional turmoil it put me through, it definitely deserves a spot because it's still like, I still think about this film. At number 3 is Good Omens. So this show is about an angel and a devil who team up together to save the world from ending. I was recommended this show by my friend Pat, and at first I didn't have like a real interest in it. I thought maybe I should check out the books first, but then I watched a video where booktuber Kat talked about how you don't need to read the books to watch the show, and how like the show is like superior to the books. So with those two recommendations, I was like, okay, let's give this show a try. It's actually a mini series. It was really short. I finished it so quick, and it was because it was super duper intriguing. I love the plot, I love the premise. It's just a very smart, witty and entertaining show. After I finished it, I like immediately introduced it to my brother, who also loved it. And I just think like this cast, there's such an amazing cast, and the two main characters, their banter is just the best. Highly recommend. At number 2 is Derry Girls season 1 and 2. Season 1 came out in 2018 and season 2 came out in 2019. It's about Erin and her friends who are growing up in 1990s Northern Ireland as they face like, you know, the political troubles versus them growing up and being teenagers. I randomly decided to give this show a try. I saw it on Netflix and I have no regrets. This show is so amazing. I watched the first 2 seasons back to back, and then I rewatched the first 2 seasons back to back, and I think that shows how good I think a show is when I can watch it and then want to rewatch it immediately. Derry Girls is funny, it's educational, and the cast has such good chemistry. I feel like the teenagers are actually teenagers, and I love how it perfectly balances very serious and real life topics with just I guess, how do I explain it? Like the funny parts of growing up and being a teenager. Finally, we are heading into my number 1 choice. Oh my god. I feel like this movie right after I watched it, I knew if I was gonna make an end of the year list, it was gonna be number one and nothing was going to top it. But at number one is Korean movie Parasite. I gave this a 5 out of 5, obviously. In short, don't go into it knowing too much, but the son of a poor family gets a job tutoring the daughter of a rich family, and slowly his poor family infiltrates this rich family. I love this movie so much. It's so good and so powerful. The acting is superb, the twist was amazing, and just the commentary on class, like, mind-blowing. I loved every aspect of this film, and I think if you haven't seen it yet, it's pretty much blown up now, but you should really go and watch it. I have a movie thoughts video for this that you can go check out if you are interested, and that wraps up my 2019 best movies and TVs I saw in this year. I'll maybe see you again next year, and let's see if anything could ever top like Parasite. That would be really interesting because it's definitely gonna be an all-time fave, and let's see if anything next year will join it. And that's it. Outro time. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in my next video whenever that is. Bye.